Hello, Elliot.
What up? How you guys doing?
We got football to talk about, buddy. Real football that everyone saw, not just you.
Well, training camp football is real football, but yes, it was nice for the public last night to see Tanner time. Yeah,
so we've been talking about it all day. Tanner McKee looked great. And I mentioned in the open, not the first time we've seen him look great. It was there's a lot of national people that haven't watched him very much and that are talking about him today. But we talked about him last year in Tanner versus Pickett, I think, at one point. Talked about him last preseason. So our big question today at the beginning, I said I wouldn't trade him for anything. I wouldn't trade him for a second-round pick. I wouldn't trade him for a first-round pick. Where do you stand on that? And then just sort of your assessment of him as a player, what you saw last night.
So I think Tanner McKee is legit. And the perspective I would offer from someone that gets to be in the building, see him, see how he interacts with people, I think on the field we all saw last night he's awesome. I do think off the field he has the qualities you're looking for in a starting franchise quarterback. His teammates like him. He seems very smart. We had the opportunity last year on the Players Lounge, me, Ike, and Hugh did to talk to him. He reminds me so much of Nick Foles. Like the same kind of goofy, likableness, like very comfortable with who he is. So I think that if the Eagles didn't have Jalen Hurts, and we were currently talking about them looking for a quarterback, I think there'd be reason to be really, really excited about Tanner McKee. All that being said, the Eagles do have a quarterback. He's young, and he's not going anywhere. So if I was Howie, I don't want to trade Tanner McKee. I'm not down on Tanner McKee. But a second-round pick, a third that could become a second, I mean, I would have to strongly consider it. I would.
What's your backup plan for this year?
I would trade for somebody. I would maybe bring Kenny Pickett back. So if you acquire a 3, that could be a 2 or a straight-up 2, you could then take a 4th or maybe a 5th and go trade for a veteran. Like, Tanner McKee is an awesome prospect right now, but he doesn't make a ton of sense for this team as a backup in the way that traditionally teams that are competing for a Super Bowl, teams that just they normally have backups that have played in the NFL, that have played a bunch of snaps that they can put in Monday Night Football, Wild Card Weekend, and you know what they're going to get from him. Now, I have confidence in Tanner, so I understand why they're okay with the backup, but they could go get Kenny Pickett, Jameis Winston, while acquiring a high-level asset for Tanner. I think that's something they would absolutely have to consider.
So consider is one thing, do is another, and I just keep thinking to myself, I would have far more confidence in Tanner McKee than Kenny Pickett. I would have more confidence in Tanner McKee than Jameis Winston. And, we're thinking about a game or two. I don't know, what if it's 6 games? Do you know what I'm saying? And this is the other thing that I'm like intent on, and this doesn't work for Pickett because he was here last year, but it does work for a guy the level of Winston, is that I don't think you can discount his familiarity with the coaches,
for sure, 100%.
His familiarity with the other players on the team. And the other thing I'd add is that he does have another year after this year. So, like, without a really, really good backup plan to the backup, you can go into the next offseason with that same asset. Now, Ike brought this up last segment. He gets in there for 6 games, he stinks it up. All of a sudden, that asset is not worth anything anymore. Right. But we don't think that's what's going to happen. So I guess just like it just feels like with 2 years left, let me have him this year, especially because I don't have another guy in the building that I'm particularly confident in.
But I just think Tanner, if he played 6 games, we have no idea what he would be. It's easier for Tanner to go in a preseason game where nobody's game planning for him. Last year when he goes in against the Cowboys, the game's essentially over, right? And the Cowboys aren't game planning that. If Tanner started 2 games in the NFL, that third game would get harder. The third game, then the fourth game, then the fifth game. So, I think that if the Eagles were rebuilding, then absolutely, you ride it out with Tanner, you keep him. But there's a reason Jalen's a starting quarterback, because you know what you're going to get with Jalen. Jalen has gone through the rigors of the NFL. They've adjusted to him. He's adjusted back. He's a proven commodity. So even someone like Kenny Pickett, do I think Kenny has as high of a ceiling as Tanner? No, I don't. But I also know that if I play Kenny Pickett for 6 games, I pretty much know exactly what I'm getting. Like, I know what Kenny Pickett is giving me, and it can't be discounted how huge of an asset a second. Now, you say first round. I mean, that's absurd not to trade him for a first.
I would not.
Yeah, okay. And I respect your commitment to Tanner on that.
Yeah.
But there's probably like 6
It's a commitment to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, there's probably like 7 players on the roster I wouldn't trade for a first-round pick. But a second-round pick could be a guy.
I don't know if you've heard it. It's the most important position in sports, Elliot.
Is.
Something to use. It's the hardest position.
That's why they have one of the top 2 in the NFL.
Yep.
But, yeah, I mean, all of a sudden the quarterback position's really important.
Well, no. But to you, then, well, hold on. Let's just go.
Quit being a little B.
I was about to say, little B, ESP.
Yeah. But it's the most important position. And we're saying the backup is just like, we'll just trade a fifth for a guy.
No, we're not saying saying the backup doesn't matter. What I'm saying is a second-round pick is one of the most valuable assets in the NFL. They could draft a starter that could play for them for 3 years at a severe discount, or you could trade that pick for somebody else. We think they need a corner. We think they need a safety. They might need another edge. The second-round pick is getting you a premium player at that position. So you're right. If Jalen goes down for a long stretch, the season's probably over. So
probably not.
Doesn't matter. But if Jalen misses 4 or 5 games, Kenny Pickett could come in here and do what Tanner does. Not to mention, I don't want to put Jalen through a quarterback controversy. I don't think it's fair to him. I don't think after seeing what
quarterback controversy.
If there's a quarterback controversy,
we would never.
You're telling me if Tanner goes in for 5 games and lights it up, people nationally already don't believe in Jalen. Some people locally don't believe in Jalen. You're telling me if Tanner's awesome for 5 weeks, Jalen's not going to be like, see, told you everyone could do it with this team.
Yeah.
See,
that definitely is going to be the narrative.
I'm not putting Jalen through that because I saw what it did to Carson.
Yeah.
Well, because you don't want the truth to be revealed.
Yeah.
Not the truth.
The Twitter question is brought to you by Mark's Jewelers. Experience the Mark's difference with showrooms in Montgomeryville and Mount Laurel online at marks-jewelers.com. The question was, would you trade Tanner McKee for a first-round pick? 64% say yes. 36%.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy that 36% say no.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. That's what he's saying,
So
Howie would trade Tanner for a first.
I think he probably would,
Howie
too.
would.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd be wrong, but I think he would.
Send that poll to Howie.
Yeah. So let's go to the other guys because we haven't talked about that at all, really.
Okay.
So it seems like now, look, if Keely Ringo had been and Adoree Jackson had cemented their place in the league and they were good players and they go in last night and get torched a little bit by Jamar Chase and whoever the hell the other guy was that torched them, it would be one thing. But Keely Ringo is not that. Adoree Jackson is not that. Do you think there is a problem at the CB2 position?
Yeah, definitely. Now, Jacorian Bennett could be their saving grace. He could potentially come in, play well. He is somebody that when he's played, has played at a high level. I would say he falls into the bucket of unproven, and they have a lot of unproven guys that they're banking on being really good this year. The Jamar Chase aspect of it to me with Keely, though, is not really an excuse. Like, they are going to play really good receivers every week. Obviously, Jamar
if you're
Chase.
A starter, yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right. Like, Jamar Chase, I understand, is a different level, but I mean, am I confident in Keely Ringo against George Pickens? Am I confident in him against Mike Evans? Now, the other part of this is, are the Eagles just going to ask Quinion to travel every week against the best receiver all season?
They are.
That's asking a lot of him, too. So, I mean, honestly, when I got home last night, I looked up what Darius Slay's contract was to see if they could figure out a way to trade for him back. Like, I think they need to make a move at corner if Jacorian Bennett doesn't give them, 2 weeks of good practice.
We should have traded or signed Jair Alexander.
Well, Asante Samuel Jr. is still out there.
Who?
Asante Samuel Jr.
Now, doesn't he play the?
He's a
am
slot
I wrong?
guy.
He
He's
plays
more
the
of a
nickel?
slot guy, yeah.
Brandon Boykin's still out there.
Now, but what you could do, if you want to take it a step further.
What's he, 40?
Yeah, pay no attention to him, man.
Did you say Brandon Boykin?
Yeah, I just ignored it. Yes.
Hey, week 1 against the Cowboys.
Well, here's the other thing.
guy.
Week 17 against the Cowboys.
The fact when they said that Quinion was traveling with a receiver and learning to do that,
That's a bad
That's
sign.
the first red flag I got.
Yep.
Because as a defense, while that's great to do, and I love Quinion, and this is not a knock on him, but it says more about the concern at the other spot than it says we got a definite lockdown corner and we're going to put him on everybody. Because in this league now, there's 2 and 3 good wide receivers.
Yes.
On every offense just about. So, okay, you travel with Jamar Chase, then somebody has to cover T. Higgins the whole damn game.
Yeah, this isn't even mentioning whoever's in the slot. I mean, because now, let's say Cooper DeJean was somebody they felt confident could play on the outside. I think they would just put him there, right? So
they clearly don't.
And if they thought he could, then Quinion
big.
wouldn't be traveling. Quinion would just stay on one side, and Cooper would stay on the other. And the other part of this is we are really, really all just expecting Quinion and Cooper to be awesome again. And it would be okay if they took a step back, just in their overall progression, right? So
No.
If Quinion is not elite next year, that becomes a major problem. If Cooper is not as good as he was last
especially
year,
if the second guy isn't.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
That becomes a major problem. So built into all of like us talking so much about the cornerback 2 spot is just an assumption that Quinion is going to be, the 7th best athlete in Philly again.
Well, and look,
You're
It
disgusting.
wasn't the 7th on my list.
Yeah.
but yeah.
It was on mine.
well
Now we're seeing his importance as we watch football's closer.
We didn't say he wasn't important.
yeah.
well, the other thing, and I have not played NFL football, I would guess
Yet.
that if your main yet
yeah.
I would guess if Quinion every single game is following around the best wide receiver, it feels like an accident waiting to happen.
For sure.
It
Of
feels
course
like
it
an
is.
offensive coordinator trying to screw with us, and all of a sudden there's a guy wide open because nobody knew whose guy was who. It just I don't think if you want to do that in one big game because there's some guy there that you want Quinion to follow around just to shut him down and take him out of the game because they only have one great wide receiver, that's fine. But too many teams have 2 good wide receivers, and then all of a sudden you're
Well,
toast.
hard to do, man.
Yep.
To that point, Christian Parker, the defensive back coach, talked about this last week, and I'm paraphrasing here slightly, but it's easy just to say Quinion's going to cover the top guy until you break the huddle and Quinion's running left to right because that guy's in motion.
Yep.
You're transferring off guys pre-snap, and the communication has to be good. So it is not as easy as just Quinion lines up against that guy, and it is what it is. There has to be a lot of really moving parts that are working together good.
And you're doing this with a unit that doesn't have a lot of seasoning together. And I'm speaking particularly
Or
the
at all.
secondary.
Let alone
Yes,
together at
yes.
all in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't played. So
I thought you were making a Reed and Cooper Gene quote joke. Not a lot of season.
Not a lot of seasoning. Nice.
Dude, I'm on fire on this. I've made a couple little jokes.
And people
today.
say you're
I'm
not.
not
People
ready
say
for
you're
that
not a
one.
football guy.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I'm on fire, he says, by the way. I don't know if you caught that.
What'd you think of Sydney last night?
I thought he did okay.
But he got hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know
but
what I
said,
mean?
no, it's
Yeah.
football. He got
Yeah.
banged up, yeah.
But my
What
concern
are
is
you
if
gonna do?
you're going to play 150 miles an hour and run downhill, like you got to be. Now he's in great shape and he's strong, so if he can't handle it, I don't know who can. But he certainly seems to get banged up quite a bit with his playing style.
Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah.
to tell you.
Yeah.
So Edge,
I want him playing slower.
No, his strength is playing fast.
Yeah.
So
Edge, I was kind of hoping Ojulari Uche would flash last night. They didn't really. So, do they need an edge too?
yeah, I left last night feeling concerned about the defense. We can say that all the guys weren't out there; they're not game planning, which is true. But there were a lot of guys out there that are expected to play big roles this year, as you just mentioned, Uche and Ojulari. Uche has at least looked good in training camp. Ojulari has not flashed at all. There was maybe one practice where I thought he had 1 or 2 good reps, and I don't get to rewatch the tape. Maybe he's setting the edge well. Like maybe there's things he's doing that the coaches like. I just know watching it, Jalix Hunt flashes, Moro Jamo flashes, Uche has had his moments. I haven't said one thing about Ojulari on Twitter in like 10 days. Like there's never a moment where I'm like, oh, I got to tell people that.
And by the way, these are not rookies. Like they've been in the league plenty of time. They should. They don't need to get used to anything.
yeah,
Give it time. Don't push the panic button just yet.
I'm pushing it. I'm concerned,
Trust Fangio. We're going to get better each week.
Well, maybe. I think last year.
Well, that's what the track record says.
Well, last year the defense got better after the bye when
Yeah.
Jalen stopped turning the ball over. So
And Cooper
and when
showed
Cooper
up.
got inserted into the lineup.
Cooper was helpful for
Yep.
sure. So was the defense was in really good positions last year.
Yeah.
Like there's a world where the offense has to carry the defense more this year. So if the offense either takes a step back or isn't as good, the defense is going to be in tougher positions than it was last year.
I would argue they didn't look good in Brazil.
No.
I don't know if that was the field. Remember, there was a lot of slippage out there on the
Right.
field.
We don't blame
What
the
have
field,
you.
though.
Yeah.
They
But
did make a couple of big stops in the red zone, by the
They
way,
did.
but they
At
didn't
the
look
end.
good overall.
They picked
I
off
agree
Jordan
with
Love
you.
a
They
couple
looked good against Atlanta to the final drive of the game.
Yep.
Yes.
After the Saquon drive.
Coach Fangio with the whole prevent defense. I don't know if we look good in that sort of situation at all last year.
They were not a good situation.
Yeah,
for defense
exactly.
last year, yeah.
Quinion got burned once in that Atlanta drive too.
Slated.
Saints game, they were okay.
They
were
good.
okay
They were
defensively
good.
against
Well,
the Saints.
I think they were very good. I mean, the fourth quarter they faltered a little, but didn't the Eagles
Yeah.
win that game like 13-10
Yeah,
or something?
yeah.
Yep.
I thought they
And
played
that
well.
was right after the Saints were viewed as like the best offense in the league.
Yeah, they shut them
the
down.
league, sorry.
Yeah.
Because they
No,
torched
no,
the Cowboys.
It only applies to our.
Yeah, only the
our
fantasy
league.
football league.
Disagree. you got to adjust.
Once you get started, yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
differentiate.
Darius Cooper, gonna make the team. He's got to, right?
I don't see how you cut him. He was awesome last night. He's been awesome throughout training camp.
By the way, awesome in college, too.
Awesome
it was
in college.
FCS, but, like...
What year is he in? Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie.
He's an undrafted rookie.
Undrafted rookie.
I mean, he was, like... Did he lead FCS in receiving yards or something?
Yeah.
1,500.
Yeah.
Now, I'll also say the dude's he has the it factor. Like, talking to him last night, he is not someone I would let out of the building. Just putting that out there. Insider being there. Just want to let you guys know.
Can he change his number?
Well, yeah, he's not going to keep that number.
41's got to go.
Yeah,
41's got to go.
But
I saw a few numbers that got to go, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Tarleton is or not Tarleton. Bennett is 49 right now.
Yeah,
He won't be
that's
that.
gotta
Josh
go.
Perry, you kidding me?
Yeah.
What number is Adoree? He might have that. But
8.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's not a great number.
Well, even
for him,
Ringo wearing 7.
Yeah,
right?
you don't.
Well, 8 is a great number for a
Well,
corner.
honestly, if they
they were
were to cut Uche, he could take 0. He wore 0 with the Raiders.
Okay.
That's probably what he's waiting on.
So what wide receiver's not going to make it? Johnny Wilson
I think they'll keep 6.
Okay. Oh, really?
Well, because one thing to consider is
Not on the active roster.
Oh, really? You don't think so? I did my 53 today. I had them keeping 6 wide receivers and 4 tight ends.
So you keep him Smith?
Don't throw the ball
Yeah.
nearly as much to be keeping 6 wide receivers.
That's a good
So
point.
Who's the best blocker?
Well, they're going to throw it more this year, I think. But also, my argument.
Not if they trade Tanner McKee.
My argument for the 6 would be obviously the top 3 are making it. Dotson's a free agent at the end of the year. I think there's a benefit to keeping Cooper and Wilson in the building, developing them for next year.
I'm with you there.
And then Aniyah Smith, I would only keep him if he's going to be your punt returner. I would keep Cooper over Smith if we're just talking receivers. But if Aniyah is going to be your punt returner, then
That matters.
it does. No, that's why I would keep 6 though, because I don't think they're going to cut Johnny Wilson.
I wouldn't cut Johnny Wilson.
He was good. He was good last night.
Yeah.
Sirianni defended him very strongly last
They like
week
him.
at the podium.
Yeah.
So it really comes down to Cooper and
Smith. And Smith does special teams.
Right.
He is a punt returner.
But I
Do
think
you want Cooper DeJean back there? Nobody wants
No.
Cooper back
No.
there. They're okay then.
that's why I'd keep 6.
Yeah.
I'm good with keeping 6. I just if Darius Cooper keeps playing this well, I don't think you can cut him.
Yeah, I mean, he looked great. And he's
Sure you can.
built.
What's going to happen if they cut him?
Someone's going to pick him up.
By the way, he's
Put him on their active roster?
Yeah.
So he's ready as an
I
undrafted
like his body,
rookie.
too.
Hold on.
Yeah.
See, this is what we
Cut
do.
that.
This is
Okay.
what we do.
Yeah, come on.
We get excited.
Yeah. Let us get excited.
Not the regular season. And you're talking about keeping guys, they take up roster spots
Yes.
on the active roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if Darius Cooper is making someone's active roster. He'll get on a practice squad somewhere.
I don't want to let him go.
You know what? I just don't want to risk it. Yeah, I agree.
I don't know because I guess our team is going to crumble if we lose Darius Cooper. We got AJ.
don't know about crumble.
AJ is 26. Devontae's 25. Like what?
Well, you
the
want to keep
receivers aren't going anywhere.
But you want to
These
keep
guys aren't playing.
You
want to
keep the best 53 players, and I think Darius Cooper is one of the best 53.
Sometimes secondary matters more.
They don't have enough good players.